The concept of power in the corporate workplace is abstract. It's not 100% concrete. And at times, it is upheld by those not even knowing that they are maintaining the status quo. And the way that you unknowingly maintain the status quo in terms of who has power and who does not is by automatically assuming that you are the one that needs to give your power away, that you are the one that deserves to have less autonomy than others, when in reality, there is a baseline level of power that everyone possesses, but not everyone actually uses. And because some people do not have the courage in the corporate workplace to actually leverage the autonomy they already have, it gives you the false perception that you also can't leverage your own autonomy. And for some of you, you might even be mistaking having power as the ability to take grandiose actions. And this is not the case. When we actually look at the definition of power, there are two parts. The first part is the ability to do something in a particular way. The second part is the ability to influence the behaviors of others. Now, when it comes to the second part of the definition, we all want to be influential. We all want to have a say at our organizations, but how many of us are actually exercising the first part of the definition, where we are essentially expressing what we need for ourselves and from others? Whether it's taking a lunch break away from our desks or requesting an extension of a deadline, whatever it is, the more comfortable you are with exercising your own autonomy, the more comfortable you will be when communicating with others in order to influence them and the outcomes. So, let's talk about some of the ways that you can maintain your own autonomy in the workplace, starting with the first way, which is to stop asking for permission when it is not needed. It is important that you are able to communicate in a way that indicates to others what you intend to do, instead of asking for their permission. The most important thing that the other person wants to hear is that the risks are managed. As a very simple example, let's say you're planning to take a vacation. You can tell your manager, I am planning to take some time off, and I have already discussed what needs to be handled with my backup. And if they had any concerns with what you intended to do, they would immediately let you know. And when you communicate with intention, instead of always seeking out permission, you engage with more confidence, which makes you more comfortable with expressing your own needs in the workplace. The second way to exercise your autonomy in the workplace is to take your lunch break the way you want to. I know this sounds quite elementary, but it is so important that you are able to use your lunch break the way you need to. Whether it is to make a personal appointment or get some fresh air outside, whatever it is, use your time during your lunch break in a way that suits you best. The third way to exercise your autonomy in the workplace is to reschedule non urgent meetings when the time proposed does not work for you. And this will definitely happen to us at some point when someone sends us a non urgent meeting invite that does not work with our schedule. Now, this does not necessarily mean that we need to completely rearrange things on our end to accommodate the meeting, but rather we simply suggest an alternative time that will work for everyone, including you, because what you have on your schedule in terms of your commitments for the day are just as important. And so it is making that conscious shift to not automatically assume that it is your priorities that need to be set aside. The fourth way to exercise your autonomy in the workplace is to collaboratively determine deadlines. Now, if you are responsible for a task and you know there is a longer time frame required to complete that task, then you must collaboratively set expectations with your manager on the deadline. By voicing your concerns about the time that it will take you, you can then determine with your manager if you need to adjust the approach and reprioritize or simply extend the deadline. The fifth way to exercise your autonomy in the workplace is to suggest an alternative approach to completing a deliverable. Because when you are doing the detailed work, you actually might know a more efficient way to have something done. As a result, this is your opportunity to suggest a different approach. Because a big part of using your autonomy in the workplace is to also make things easier for yourself. The sixth way to exercise your autonomy in the workplace is to suggest a more equitable distribution of administrative tasks. If you are the one that is always being delegated the admin related tasks, and those tasks can actually be anyone's responsibility on the team, you can then suggest that the tasks are equally distributed so that everyone has an opportunity to contribute. You can indicate that because of your current priorities, it would be better if someone else took over those tasks this time. And naturally, that would help set the precedent to circulate the admin tasks more equitably amongst the team. The seventh way to exercise your autonomy in the workplace is to simply ask for additional help and support. If you ever feel overwhelmed in the workplace with competing priorities and deliverables, you need to have the courage to ask for support, especially from your manager, to help reprioritize your workload. A big part of leveraging your autonomy in the workplace is realizing that it is not a closed book exam. You are allowed to put up your hand and ask for the support that you need, because sometimes it feels like we need to have a lot more courage to ask for help than it does to simply accept being overwhelmed and to not have the conversation at all. Ultimately, you must be the first person to perceive yourself as being powerful in the corporate workplace. And by powerful, this simply means that at a base level, you are someone who has the courage to exercise their own autonomy, to be able to do what you need to do in a way that is particular to you.